What's up? It's Seth Justice, and welcome to the Seth Justice Show. For all the updates, at Justice_radio on Instagram, at Seth Justice Show. I promise I know my handles. Promise I do. And then the Seth Justice Show on Spotify and YouTube. So, this week is a rather weird week. I mean, everything from Bill Belichick and his weird relationship to somebody taking a big old dookie on somebody's car and causing a lot of issues, and also sperm races. Yeah, I honestly don't even know when to or where to start. I don't. Like, it is such a weird happening. It's almost like people don't even like can't even process some weirdness that's going on. I mean, I love weird. Don't get me wrong. I thrive in the weirdness of the world. But when you have Walton Goggins, who does a photo shoot in a yellow Speedo and a yellow button-up shirt, and then all of a sudden have an SNL star who goes to a red carpet and then sniffs it, yeah, that's a little bit too far. So I think we'll actually start with that, because Walton Goggins, if you didn't know, he's an actor. He does all this fun stuff and is going to be on SNL. I think it's next weekend, maybe the weekend after. I'm not sure. But everyone was going crazy for this photo shoot that he was doing. I mean, the dude, overly tan, yes, but the dude looked good. I mean, we got to give it up to him. But yeah, it's, and I don't even know how old Walton Goggins is. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because, yeah, the whole sniffing of a Speedo, like Chloe Fineman from SNL, she was on this red carpet and goes, hey, and then just laughs it off. Like, yeah, okay, Chloe, you can laugh that off. That's perfectly fine. I really hope he just washed it, though, because that would be absolutely disgusting to get all that Walton Goggins sniff in your nose and just go, yeah, I smell your sweat from a beach. It's like, come on. It's like, can't we just like not be overly weird? I mean, I don't know. Actually, being overly weird, see, I'm stuck, right? Like I said, I love the weird of the world, and I love people acting a fool. So I don't really know how I feel about this one. I mean, is it strange? Yes. Should we like trash them? No. Because people do weird things all the time. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And I still haven't decided if it's a good weird or a bad weird. So, I mean, it's just, I just, for the sake of Chloe, I hope they watched it. I hope they did. So, I don't know. But, moving on. Because that, yeah, I don't want to have that image in my head anymore. Like, just somebody sniffing. No. Anyway, so sperm races. We're going to go to that one first, because that one is a rather interesting case of people being weird again, except this one is, in my opinion, a bad weird. So there was sperm races between UCLA and USC, and they were just seeing which sperm was the fastest. And it's just like, have we lost like every form of entertainment now that we have sperm races? I feel like that one's gonna be the new like NFL. Like, sorry NFL, sorry, Patrick Mahomes, Roger Goodell, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. I'm sorry, but you guys have been upstaged by little swimmers who are trying to race to see who's. I don't even know what they're racing for. Honestly, don't. Like, is it a cash prize? That'd be sick. Is it a trophy? That'd be weird, especially because you'd have to get like a little statue of a sperm, and then you'd have to see that on your or in your apartment, in your house for the rest of your life, because you can't hide that. You can't. You have to have that up there all the time. You got to do it, and people have got to look at that and be like, oh my goodness, what is that? There's got to be a story on it. And yeah, then you'd have to tell the story of, back in college, I was at a USC or UCLA, doesn't matter which one. And I was just like, yeah, I think I'm going to be a part of the sperm races. And then, yeah, I won. See, I feel like first place, there's no shame because you're like, yeah, I got great sperm. Look at me. That's great. Like, yeah, I can mate and, procreate and all that fun stuff. I can do it better than anybody else. It's just second and third. And then everybody who doesn't finish on the podium is just like, oh, okay, so my swimmers, they're weak. And I don't even know how to make them better. Yeah, because there's not really an upward trajectory unless you're just, going about it like I'm just focusing on eating whatever foods make my swimmers stronger. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to take steroids, and then my sperm's going to be super sperm, and then I'm going to travel around the world with my sperm. Like, what in the world is going on? So first place, I guess there's no shame. There isn't. I mean, it would be pretty cool to have a giant trophy with a giant sperm on it, but then explaining that to people, like, could you imagine explaining that to your parents? Like, what are you going to say? Like, you raised a kid that has great sperm that can, beat other people's sperm. Doesn't sound great. Doesn't sound great when you, like, put that all in a conversational tone with your parents. Doesn't sound great. Or your kids, your future kids, and they look in your trophy shelf, we'll say, or it's in your den or in your, garage, and you're just like, Dad, why do you have that little, like, tadpole looking thing? And then you have to be like, yeah, it's not a tadpole. What that is sperm. And your dad, well, that was used to make you, and now bada bing, bada boom, we know how that ended, and number one sperm. And then if you got last place and you still are putting up the trophy, which I would burn that. But if you got last place, you're just like, you're lucky to be alive right now, kid. Yeah, with me finishing in last place, I had to do a lot of work to get you. Oh, that was so gross. But now apparently they're going to be like these kids from USC and UCLA. They're going to be putting on more events and going to like Las Vegas and other places. So good on them to be entrepreneurial, but doing it in a weird, creepy way. It was actually kind of funny. So Andrew Schultz, he's a stand-up comedian. They were talking about this on his podcast, Flagrant, and I believe Brilliant Idiots. But he was he was saying that some of his commenters are saying that he'd be in the Special Sperm Olympics. And oh God, that's just a burn, man. Like, could you imagine saying that to somebody? Like, especially after Andrew Schultz released his special, saying that he was the problem in his relationship and trying to make a baby. Savage. See, that's the kind of savagery I love, where people are just like, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna make this so terrible and awkward for you, and you're gonna feel so bad, or you're gonna laugh your ass off because, well, it's funny. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. People are just so great and exciting, and then you're just like, yes. See, this is the weird we like. I guess the word for this week is weird, because I don't know. Weird is, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be indifferent, but either way, kids be kids, I suppose. But still, going about it and then having it somewhat be a success. Like, I don't even know how that they track the sperm and see who's is faster. I don't know how they do that. Do they just put it in a machine and then they're just like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then see who's is faster because of X, Y, and Z? Or can you actually see them racing against each other? Because that's what I want to know. I don't know. I don't have that information. I did not watch it, which I don't think they streamed it or anything like that, which is probably a good thing, because it might have been taken down because people would have been upset about it. And been like, yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, yeah. It's like, all right, sure. But yeah, it's just one of those deals where it's just strange, man. It really is. But I really want to know how they like go about it and track everything to see which one is, because that'd be hysterical. Because I know doctors can go in and be like, okay, your sperm count is not great, but racing sperm, like an individual spermy thing. I said sperm way too much today. It's like already. Like we're 10 minutes into this podcast and I've said sperm way too much. And I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. It's just I am so perplexed by this and I am so like so weird. And it's I can't get out of it. I can't. I got to try though. I guess I don't even know where to go from here. Oh yeah, we talked about weirdness. So I guess like I said, the theme of this episode is weird. And just the things that I've seen online that are just odd and strange and just gross and disgusting. And I'm not going to talk about the 100 100 men versus one gorilla or 100 gorillas versus one man. I don't know. Maybe it's 100 men versus one gorilla. Which, let's be real, the gorilla's going to win because, 70% of the guys are going to be like, oh, I can beat him up, and then instantly be KO'd. And then 5% is going to be like, oh, I'm just going to go in and then kind of dance around and hide. And then the other ones are going to just run away. Yep. I'd say only 5% of people actually have a chance at surviving that. But who knows? Glad we don't have to test out that theory because I feel like a lot of people would be humbled. A lot of humbling going on with a gorilla. Like, yeah, those things are strong. They're animals. And if you tread on them, they're going to tread on you. You're going to be their new Crocs. And then you're just going to be like, can I be in sport mode today? And then you're like, no, not allowed to be in sport mode. No, you're in 4-wheel drive. Or, what's it? Leisure. I don't know. I don't wear Crocs. Anyway. So, more weirdness today. I'm glad we got off sperm. Anyway. Don't go back. So, a lady was walking around on the street, and I don't know why or how, but we've had thoughts, like if somebody's driving around and they're a jerk, and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to doo-doo on their hood, and then I'm just going to laugh at them because they got doo-doo on their hood, and they have a brand new hood ornament, and now, they're going to feel bad and have to clean that off themselves. We thought about it. But this lady, she decided to actually do that. And the worst part of this all is that she said that it was a clean doo-doo and she didn't have to wipe. I don't know why that freaks me out because there's got to be some poo particles there. Like, you are not hiding anything, lady. Like, you probably went to wherever you went and you're just like, wipe just to make sure. 100%. 100%. Like, there's no way. But the fact that you had the gall, the cojones to actually do that, absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Like, I couldn't even imagine. And this person, she took a doo-doo on the hood in the car. In the car. Like, how do you have just the brash, brazen, whatever big word you want to use or word that we don't use anymore to make us, feel better about our intellectual accomplishments, whatever that word is, how do you have that to actually go about it and then doo-doo on somebody's hood? I don't understand that kind of confidence. I don't. And I have a lot of confidence. All right. Whether that's, about what I do, my looks, even though I don't have that much confidence in my looks, but it's I don't understand the amount of F you, I'm gonna do what I want. Like, I'll do that with words and I'll do that with like friends and people I know, but just a random stranger? Are you kidding me? That's the type of insanity. It's great talking about. Let me tell you right now, because the fact that this lady actually took a doo-doo on a hood, made a brand new hood ornament. I don't know if she actually touched it or just let it sit, but either way, new hood ornament, and just walked away. Just walked away, like cool as a cucumber, and was just like, all right, well then, yeah. This is what I'm doing today. I'm a cause problems because I want to cause problems. Yeah. Different breed. Honestly, way different breed than me because I instigate shit. I do. And I'm just like, yeah, you see that? You see what they're doing? Oh, are you sure you want them to do that? Are you sure? And then they're just like, you know what? No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm going to do something about it. I was like, yes, go do it. That's the kind of stuff I stir. All right? That's what I do. I love it. Makes me happy. And also, leaves me out of some issues. Because I'm just an innocent bystander. I'm just here to have a good time. What are you talking about? I didn't instigate anything. I just said the facts. I was just like, hey, X, Y, and Z is going on. That's all I said. And then bada bing, bada boom, something happened. That didn't involve me. Though I will say one time it did bite me because a buddy of mine was, and this is going to sound awful, I know, but I was in high school at this. But a buddy of mine really liked this girl, and I was talking to her, and I was flirting with her, and, I was just like, so you and da-da-da, are you guys together? And she's like, no, I don't think he likes me like that. And I knew, of course, that he did. And I was just like, okay, well, want to go out? And she's like, no, I don't want to go out. And I was like, okay, so here's what you're going to do. Because I know what's happening. You are going to go and you are going to talk to this person. Because let me tell you right now, what you're feeling is what they're feeling. You're going to talk to him. And you're going to see that he has the same feelings as you. And then they dated for a very long time. So it was kind of bad, right? Because I was kind of instigating some stuff. But it was for good reasons. I was trying to help out my buddy. And yeah, I mean, if it turned out the other way, I wasn't going to complain either. Then my buddy would have not liked me. But we don't talk anymore anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, this was in high school. So, meh. It'll be fine. Yeah, realizing that story didn't really, make me sound good. Kind of made me sound like a douche. Yeah. Not as bad as this story though. Yeah, at least I don't look like the people in this story because this has gotten even worse. Like Bill Belichick and his girlfriend Jordan Hudson, who is a 20-something-year-old, and Bill Belichick is a 70-something-year-old. And they are dating. And they're having a great time, which, whatever, if you're happy, be happy. Is it still weird? 100%. But it's also weird that the fact that Bill Belichick had an interview, his PR person is his girlfriend, Jordan, and she goes on this tirade about a certain question about how Bill and her met. And a lot of people are speculating is probably wasn't the best way to meet is how they met, and there's probably some things going on. Now, we don't know how they met, so we're not really sure. But Jordan was raising all kind of Cain and Abel. I'm going to start saying that now. I've never used that before, but I'm going to start saying it. Raising all kind of stuff. And was yelling, was screaming, was just like, blah, 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 and stormed out. And people are just like, what in the world is going on? And then Dave Portnoy comes out later on in the week and is just like, he says, it's just insane. And honestly, could be elder abuse. Now, I don't know about that. I don't know. But Bill Belichick is 73 years old. He's dating a 20-something-year-old that's making him feel younger than he's probably felt in the entirety of his life, because Bill Belichick is, well, as we've seen, a grump. That's just Bill Belichick. But now he's living his best life with the 20-something-year-old and is finally like, I don't care. What am I going to complain about? That's Bill Belichick. He's not going to complain about anything. He's just going to sit back, relax, have a good time, and be with his 20-something-year-old while, he has a smile on his face, and then go to bed by 7, and then she's out partying to the break of dawn. Like that is the idea in my head of how this relationship goes, where she's just hanging out, having a good time with a 70-something-year-old until 7 p.m. when Bill's asleep, and off you go. But Bill doesn't care. But it's just us in society think it's weird, think it's odd, thinks, this isn't necessarily the right way to go about doing things. And nobody can tell us any different. Like, if we're in that situation, we are going to be like, no, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do, and we're going to move forward and move on from it because, that's what I'm going to do. And you have no choice in the matter, which is fine. But there is the yin to the yang, the left to the right, the balance of it all. And society is being like, 70-something-year-old dating a 20-something-year-old. That is weird. And what's weirder is the fact that she doesn't want to talk about how they met, because how they met could be very bad. Even though I do believe they said that they met on a plane and were talking and everything like that. But is that really how they met? Is it? I think that's the story that came out. I don't quite remember when it first happened, but peculiar to say the least. So I don't know. It's just a weird situation to see a guy who his kids are older than his girlfriend, and also he's a grandfather, and also she's just barely out of college. I'm barely out of college. Like, I think 9 years out of college. No, I graduated in 2017. It's 2025. 8 years out of college. A little bit better. But still, just out of college. It won't go until, I've been out of college for a while, but until 10 years. That's at least what I'm saying. Yep, that's how it feels. Yep, I'm just going to say, be like, yep, all right, I'm not old, no, even though my birthday is next weekend. Not old. Not going to be 31 years old and, whatever. Yeah, not going to say that. I feel young at heart. Still feel like I'm in my 20s, which I'm just out of. But I don't know. Either way. Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, all the best to you. All I can see, though, is that this ending poorly, especially after what happened with that interview. And she seems like a total control freak. And if you've ever dated a control freak, you know that they are insane. Like, you can't even say anything without them getting mad or, not, taking offense to anything that you say. Like, say you're going about and wanting to go to dinner, and they're like, oh, I want to go to this place, and we're like, oh, we just went there last week, don't you want to go here? And they're like, oh my goodness, how could you do this to me? We are going to where I want to go. And it's just like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna go over here and not deal with you anymore. It seems like that situation for Bill Belichick, but I think at his age he kind of wants that. At least that's what it seems, because he's right now just, I don't even know, doing yoga on the beach and acting like a 20 to 30-year-old. Again, do whatever you want. It's perfectly fine. You can be who you want to be. I have no right to judge anybody on what they want to do in their lives. But you got to be willing to accept that there's some weirdness in the world, and people want to try and understand that. And I just mainly think that's the questions that people are asking. They're trying to understand why Bill Belichick is doing this and is dating this gorgeous person, which that may be all the reason you need right there. They're hot. And that's what Bill wants, and Bill was able to get, a girl to look at him who's 50 years younger than he is, and now they're having fun. I mean, that may be it. Maybe they intellectually coalesce in some way that makes it feel better. Maybe they're on the same plane on that end and feel open to the idea of that, and that could also be true. But in saying all of that, you got to acknowledge it's a little bit out of the norm. little bit weird, and in some cases gross. Like their intimate time, no, not good. But now you're imagining it. You're thinking about it right now, and I know you. Yeah, you're thinking about it, and now you. It's like retirement homes. Yeah, except in Bill Belichick's situation, it's a 20-year-old. Anyway, that's the Seth Justice Show. I think we got enough sperm and wrinkled talk in for this week. Thank you so much for listening. At Justice_Radio on Instagram, at Seth Justice Show on X, and the Seth Justice Show on YouTube and Spotify. Yeah, that was a weird podcast episode, but hey, episode 10, it's over. It's done.